So, I had a conversation back in July with Steve Sawyer, right? Now, Steve Sawyer was a former associate, I guess you could say, of Milo Yiannopoulos. You know, former kind of Gamergator, all this kind of stuff, right? Now in indie game dev, who has got some ties and links in the industry. So we spoke, obviously this first time, we had a great conversation, we had a great banter, okay? We then spoke a second time about Activision Blizzard and the Coleco Chameleon. Again, had great bands, had great rapport. So, for that reason, and in the desire to push my channel to the next level, I'm pleased to announce that I'm starting a podcast. Brand new podcast. Now, the podcast is going to be called The ChudCast with Steve Tom Sawyer. That's the name of it, okay? That's the name of it. The ChudCast. That's right. I thought that was a nice name. I like the name. The ChudCast with Steve Tom Sawyer. It's a brand new podcast, okay? It's going to be hosted by myself and Steve, right? It's going to be recorded on the first Sunday of every month on this stream. So you can watch the recording live, okay? And then there'll be the podcast version that comes out later. It's going to be once a month to start with, okay? Obviously, the future's open dependent on what happens, right? It's going to be once a month. What kind of stuff are we going to be talking about? Is gaming, entertainment, pop culture with a twist of politics, okay? Something like that. There's obviously still, like, literally this was 100% confirmed today that we're doing this. So yeah, that's going to be the kind of byline of it, I guess, for now. And then we'll maybe think of something else. But the basic idea, right, is that I'm doing it so that I can have a section of my stream. And I stream a lot of entertainment type stuff anyway, right? But I want to really secure a space on my stream and the podcast and my content where I can just flagrantly talk about, and frivolous, totally frivolous stuff. That, do you know what I mean? It's completely frivolous. Could be completely frivolous. Could be funny. Could be interesting. Could be a funny story from that month. Yeah. Could be a funny YouTuber that we found who isn't necessarily political, but it's just funny to watch and have a laugh at. And, we might talk about, we might have a laugh at, like, because obviously I've got a bit tired of the culture war stuff, right? But I think having someone to bounce off could be quite fun to talk about, like, oh yeah, they made Robin bisexual and everyone lost their mind. How funny was that, There's other ideas coming in as well. Like, for example, we might do an episode where we just do a call-in stream. Like a calling cast, okay? So you could just call in and have a chat with us. Further to that, it could be that we do an episode where we're like, right, put everything else aside. Yeah. Potentially comic stuff too, yeah. We're going to get special guests on, right? We're going to put it to one side and get a special guest on for the show and have banter and talk with them, right? So yeah, it could be we get like a special guest on, like a larger content creator. Because between us, we've got like links and contacts and stuff. We could get some really cool people on the show, and it could be that we get someone on that maybe normally does like quite hardline political stuff, but we just get them on to have a laugh about some frivolous nonsense. Do you know what I mean? The other thing as well is like there's so many things we're talking about, so many ideas. Like just like doing a deep dive into some like absurd, ridiculous conspiracy theory. Just an absurd conspiracy theory and going, right, what's the merits of this? Like, is this something that could be true? Where's the evidence? Just stuff like that. Just stuff that isn't like super heavily political, but is just like fun. And we can have a little bit of political chat maybe. I don't know. So yeah, that's the podcast, right?